How's it going, everybody? We have a really exciting unboxing for you today. I have 3 starter decks from Beyond the Doors. So this was the first set from the Marillion Invasion block released in the fall of 2008. Marillion Invasion Beyond the Doors is my personal favorite set. This was the set that had the Marillion tribe introduced. It introduced a whole bunch of interesting mechanics, such as the Brainwash mechanic and Outperform, and a total of over 200 cards that were introduced to the format. One of the things that I really liked about this set is this was one of the sets that significantly increased the power level of the format at the time. Specifically, this is the first set that introduced some really powerful attack cards. Primal Smash, obviously, but there were a lot of elemental attacks as well, and disciplines became more important. For the starter decks, beginning with this one, Beyond the Doors, Chaotic did things a little bit differently. There were always starter deck exclusive cards, but beginning with this set, there was a split between cards that you could get in the starter deck and cards that you could get in packs. So every card you could get in the starter deck, you could not pull from any packs, and vice versa. So as a result, we know specifically what we're looking for from here. The best card in the set would be Tenga Toborn in Training. There's also Kathraz and a Benabaku, which would be good hits as well. As I said, I have 3. This one's the Underworld one. I have the Overworld one. This one's cool. It actually has the price tag from 2008, $14.99, and then a Danian one that we're going to open as well. The last thing I want to mention before we go into it specifically is, in addition to the cards that I mentioned, this set is interesting. The starter decks are interesting because they also have some misprints that are exclusive to them, and I'll show you a couple examples. For Chaotic, I'm sure everyone's seen some type of miscut. These are 2 cards that are normal on the front, but as you can see on the backs, they're both inverted and off-center. And I've only seen this specific type of cut with starter decks, so that's something to look out for. Another one that I have here, this is called a ghost print or ghost stat. For Tenga Toborn, you can see it as 70 energy. If I go up to the camera, you might be able to see a faint 65 energy. And so what happened is when the cards are printed, the stats are printed last. And if the rollers aren't cleaned fully, sometimes you'll get these ghost stats. So the ghost stats specifically aren't unique to the starter deck, but I have seen them in starter decks more frequently. And then the last type of error, which is very rare, is some of the starter deck cards have stats that are misaligned. I don't have any cards in my personal collection, but I'm going to show or put a picture up so you can see what we're looking at specifically. So any of those would be really, really cool. But otherwise, we're just going to jump into it. So this is the Underworld starter deck. And this is what the contents is. So we have a deck of about 50 cards. We have a playmat that is Overworld and Underworld. And then you have the rule book as well. I'll go through the starter deck fairly quickly. I'm sure most people watching this video has seen them before and kind of knows what cards are included. And so here we have the 3 rares, and then the super or ultra rare is last. And so I'm just going to set these aside. So you can see this is the Underworld deck. Kirill, 65 energy is good. Rage Trod, Aspect Amplifier Mites. This is what I was talking about. This was the first set that introduced the Outperform mechanic. The Mujiks, the attacks. Ash Torrent was a reprint, but I think the other ones, and Flash Warp was a reprint. I think the other ones are all unique. And then the locations. And then every starter deck comes with a Marillion as well. And so for the Underworlds, let's see what we get. We get Rare and Tainted, 50 energy. We get Alluring Bait. We have Akua, and I think this is a location, and Open Doors to the Deep Mines. So there you go. That's the first super rare. We have two more. I'm gonna do the Overworld one next. Again, this is the one that has the price tag, so very cool. And the contents again is the same as the Underworld one. So you get an Overworld Underworld playmat, you get a starter deck, and then you get the deck, which has a couple rares, some of which are the starter deck exclusives. So again, I'm going to do this, and we'll set this aside. For the Overworld starter deck, that Ikatosh has max energy, Lystone, Trimidal, that also has max energy. Music, go through the attacks. Again, just very quickly, I'm sure people have seen most of these before. The locations, and Eric Tab, very popular in the TV show. Okay, for the rares, we have Almar's Bionic Steel Arms, Alizadan, Kilaanju, and Mindful Finish is the super rare, probably one of the worst cards in the game. And you can see these are the two cards. These are starter deck exclusives, and these are the ones I showed the inverted backs for previously. Last but not least, we have the Danian starter deck. And again, you get a rule book, a playmat. This is the Danians and Mepedians. And a starter deck. Last one, really hoping for a good hit here. Again, Tangatoborn I think would be the best one. Kathraz or a Benabaku. I'd honestly take any ultra rare would be great, but let's see what we get. Again, we're just going to try to leave those aside there, and we'll go over the Danians. Nimi, great card. And Netherar is our Marillion. That also has max energy, so very nice. All right, last but not least, let's see what we can get. Another rare and tainted. Alluring Bait again, and it looks like it's a Marillion. This could be Ritsu Dog or a Benabaku. Ooh, it's a Benabaku, max energy too, very nice. Nice way to end it off, and you can see it's slightly misaligned as well. I wouldn't call this an error, but yeah, great to have. Thanks for watching.